Think Florida primary, and I bet you see and think these two guys, right? Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, the state's favorite sons, well, the leader and the apprentice, no matter how you want to look at it. But what if I told you when it came to the vice chair of the Miami-Dade Republican Party, well, he saw someone else, and neither of these gentlemen. Manny Roman with us now. Manny, who do you like?
I like Ted Cruz, Neil.
Why?
Well, it's very simple. Ted Cruz is the one candidate who's a political outsider in the race. For the same reason that the people in Iowa, the people in New Hampshire are supporting Ted Cruz, I'm supporting Ted Cruz. You know, he's taken on the Washington establishment time and time again. He's not only taken on the Democrats, he's taken on Republicans as well, political insiders, and the entire political class. Ted Cruz understands, Neil, that it really takes someone from the outside to break the Washington cartel.
But he's not really an outsider, right? He came to the Senate the same time Marco Rubio did, your senator, and I'm just wondering what his draw was that was apparently not Rubio's.
Yeah, compare the two records, Neil. What has he done in the Senate since he's been there, and what has Marco Rubio done in the Senate since he's been there? They've been on opposite sides in immigration. A key battle happened in 2013, where Rubio joined Chuck Schumer and Barack Obama, and Ted Cruz joined Jeff Sessions and fought the amnesty bill and
yeah,
and
but
won.
you know, there have been inconsistent statements that the senator has made, that is Senator Cruz, on that and whether his history is what he says. But I understand where you're coming from. What I want to know is what others in the party are telling you once you came out with this decision.
Well, just to be clear, I'm endorsing Rubio as a private individual. So just as many party officials have done. I'm sorry, I'm endorsing Ted Cruz as a private individual.
I thought you were changing your mind right here on this show. Okay.
No, I wouldn't change my mind.
All right.
There's a lot of private individuals here and throughout the state endorsing, of course, Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio. But if the people want an outsider, someone who's consistently conservative, and they're ready to break the Washington cartel, you can't have a moderate candidate. You know, there's been a lot of backlash since my endorsement, Neil, and I think that is because I went with the conservative and not with one of the two moderates.
All right, well, I guess the reason why you got some backlash, and this happens in a lot of states where someone, you know, comes out from a party capacity and goes ahead and backs a candidate, hey, it's too early and it's a no-no. If you're a bigwig in a party, you keep those kind of views to yourself. What do you say?
But keep in mind that, yeah, Neil, I'm sorry to interrupt, but keep in mind that in the primaries, the other parties' officials are doing it. The reason I'm being singled out is because I'm supporting Ted Cruz in Miami-Dade, the hometown of Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio. Right. And to be clear, I had every reason to support Marco Rubio. I'm a professor of business at FIU where he teaches politics. He's well-liked in the same county where I live. But, you know, it comes a time where you have to choose the candidate that you really feel is going to change America. And that's Ted Cruz.
Has anyone within the party establishment in Florida just said, you just lost your party post as a result of doing this?
So the backlash has been pretty astonishing, Neil. I'm glad you brought that up. The very next day after my endorsement, the chair of the party went to the media and said, I think Manny should resign. I hear a couple political campaigns, there's no need to mention those campaigns right now, have put a lot of pressure on the party to force me to resign. And next week, there's a motion to remove me from my post. And just to be very clear, I broke one rule, and that's the unspoken rule in Miami, that you don't support someone other than Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush.
Well, you don't support anyone, right? And that's the rule.
No, that's not the rule. There's other party officials that are supporting Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush.
Those other couple of campaigns you referred to that were creating a big stir on this, I would imagine they were the Bush and Rubio campaigns, right?
That's correct. That's correct. And you know, something I like to bring up, you know, this is very important for the people, your viewers in Iowa and your viewers in New Hampshire. My personal story with Marco Rubio. You know, Marco Rubio, then Senate candidate Marco Rubio, said 5 words that your viewers in Iowa and New Hampshire should really pay attention. He said, I will never support amnesty. He said those 5 words. And I voted for Marco Rubio in 2010. And he broke that trust in 2013, Neil, when he joined Chuck Schumer and Barack Obama with the amnesty bill and the Gang of 8. So, you know, this is also about integrity and trust and who has a consistent record within our party.
All right, Manny, we'll see what happens. Thank you very much. Manny, of course, the Miami-Dade Republican Party Vice Chair. For now, we'll see what happens, Manny. I don't wish you will.
Thank you, Neil.
You never know. You never know. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You know, we don't give our First Amendment rights when we join the Republican Party or leadership. So I'm glad to have your support, Neil.